G'day guys, Fitcho here and welcome back to my MotoGP 18 career mode. Today we're here for episode number 10. We have now hit double digits in this career mode in terms of videos uploaded, and I want to take a moment just to thank you guys for all the support so far on this series. I think we've had 4 episodes hit over 1,000 views, which is absolutely crazy, and all the others have been pretty close in the 800s and 900s. So I just want to thank you guys for all that. The support has been great on this series, and I want to keep this going as a daily series for as long as I can right now, just to reward you guys for all the support, and I do really appreciate it. It makes me happy, and it really sort of motivates me to keep making these videos. But today we're here for round number 3 of the Moto3 World Championship, and we are heading to Texas, to the circuit of the Americas. But before we do that, I'm going to have a look at the bike development, because I forgot to upgrade stuff at the end of the last episode after the Argentina round. We've got 15,000 development points at our disposal, so let's see what we can do. Now, again, I'm really not too sure what I want to do on the bike. Like, I'm not that great at bike games compared to what I am at car games, and I'm playing on a controller. I don't really have that same feel and knowledge that I have with cars, so I don't really know what I want to necessarily upgrade. The bike feels all round fairly decent, so I think I just want to go with a fairly basic, just upgrade each one at a time, get one upgrade done on everything, then go to the next one, etc. So I've already got one on traction and power and one on the aggression on the brakes, so I guess we go to the brakes and do the modularity, so we'll upgrade that, which is 3,900. Yes, we want to do that, so we've got that done. Now we go, I guess we go on, upgrade the suspension a bit. We can do both of these, hydraulics and elasticity. We get those done. Now we have 3,700, and that is not going to be enough to buy any more. We are 200 short, I believe. Yes, we are. So unfortunately, we can't get any more upgrades. So that's another 3 upgrades ticked off the board. So I'm just going to go with a fairly neutral upgrade strategy at the moment and keep this bike fairly well-rounded. But now it is time to head to COTA. I'm not too sure how this weekend's going to go. Past games hasn't been my most preferred track, so I've struggled with the S's and the quick changes of direction. But like I said at the end of the last episode, this year's new physics model has made those changes of direction a little bit quicker, and with a nimble bike like a Moto3 bike, I could actually do a ride around here. I'm not too sure, but let's hit the track in Texas. Right, we've already hit the track here at the circuit of the Americas, and we have passed all 3 of our tests here in free practice 1, and I found the braking test really strange. For the first objective at turn 1, I hit the brakes, then accelerated after the point I hit the brakes, then broke again and still made the corner. The point was that early. But for the next 3 or 4 of them, I can't remember if it was all of them, but for at least for the next 2 or 3, I hit the brakes where it told me to hit the brakes, and I ended up not actually pulling the bike up for the corner and overshooting it. It was very strange. The points they put on the track for this test at COTA were so off. It was actually insane, but nonetheless, I did hit the brakes at where they wanted to. I don't care if I run wide, I still hit the brakes at the right point and actually got that test completed. And I didn't actually get any points there on the trajectory test for the 5th and final sector. I did get the mark required, 90%, and the objective was 90%, but I got no reward for that, so maybe I'll give that one another go.
Hello from the circuit of the Americas. We're here in Texas. There's already a lot of excitement inside the paddock, and in a few minutes the race direction will signal the start of the customary qualifying session. The forecasts confirm what you can see for yourselves. The weather is excellent, and it's going to stay that way for the rest of the day.
Right, we're here in Texas, and it is time for qualifying, and it's a much nicer day here on Saturday than what it was yesterday on Friday. It was very muggy and overcast. We've got some nice conditions for today's qualifying session, and I'd say my confidence has actually taken a bit of a boost after yesterday's practice session. Although I didn't actually complete that last trajectory test properly with that final sector, I couldn't actually get any better than 90%. My lap time, considering it was practice and I wasn't looking for lap time, was actually quite respectable. I ended the session in 8th place without actually setting a lap where I was out there trying to find my lap time. I was just going for the objective. So I think I might have more pace here at COTA than I expected, but let's find out and get into the session. First lap on the board, a 2:16.9, and that is faster than the fastest free practice time by anyone, so that is a good first lap in the books. And even on that lap, we had a fair bit of traffic, so I think there's a bit more time to find. This has been an absolutely stonking lap. What is the lap time? It's a 1:16.4, another half a second quicker, and we retain our top position. I think that's going to do us. I don't think anyone's actually going to come close to that lap time. No one beat our previous best in the opening 8 minutes of the session, and now we've gone even quicker. And actually, let's just get off the racing line and return to the pits. I think I'm just going to end it there, and hopefully that's good enough for pole. So in the end, it was good enough for pole position, and by some margin, almost a full second over Aaron Canet and Jorge Martin, who are joining us on the front row of the grid. I set a 2:16.4, and both of them set 2:17.4s. So we have some stonking pace around the circuit of the Americas here, and hopefully we can convert this pole position into our first win here in the Moto3 class.
Hello from Austin. We're here in Texas. In about a few minutes, we'll be bringing you the Moto3 race. The weather is great and the temperature is perfect for racing, so we're just waiting to find out which riders have opted for hard tyres and which riders have opted for soft.
It is race day here at COTA for the Grand Prix of the Americas, and we're starting in prime position, on pole position, the best place to be starting, and we're almost a full second clear of the field in qualifying, and hopefully we can turn that into a race victory here in today's 8-lap race. We're about to find out. Let's get into the race.
We are now transmitting from the starting grid, where everything seems ready. It's always difficult to predict the results of a Moto3 race, but the riders we're seeing right now definitely seem to be the favourites. While the race officials are waving the green flag, the riders gather their final thoughts and get ready to race another US Grand Prix here at Austin.
It is race time here in Austin. Grab the clutch, revs up, bike in gear, traction control off. And it's lights out, and away we go, and it looks like it has been a reasonable start from pole position. Not the best, as Aaron Canet and Jorge Martin have already jumped up into first place. But again, by my standards, that is quite reasonable. We are on the outside for turn number 1. There's not much we can do there, as that is Lorenzo Della Porta, and I'm not too sure who that is, who also snuck past us, I should say, as we got very loose on the curb there at turn number 2. Back up the inside of Rodrigo we went, and we retook third place. And now we have Jorge Martin and Aaron Canet, the two fastest guys in this field, right in front of us. They were a 10th or 2 clear of the rest of the field behind them as well, so it looks like it could be a three-way fight at the front of this field if Rodrigo and Lorenzo Della Porta can't stick with us in the opening phase of this Grand Prix. But all things considered, how my starts normally go, quite happy with that one, and I was worried I was going to hit the deck there through turn number 2, but we managed to stay on our bike. Onto the back straight we go. We're in the slipstream of Aaron Canet, and I've found in qualifying the AI take a very, very odd line down here on the brakes. They are so slow down into this corner, and indeed they are again. I've gone quite late on the brakes, and Jorge Martin does get back up our inside, but from that distance we were able to get up the inside of both bikes and actually make that move stick on Aaron Canet, which is a bit in... Ooh. I did have a high side there in practice, I think it was. That is quite a difficult corner getting on the power. But they are so slow down at the end of that back straight. They're so early on the brakes. It is actually insane. And I think that is going to be an easy place for us to make overtakes in this Grand Prix, as long as we keep close enough through sector number 1 and 2. So we're in the slipstream down the straight. We should have some easy moves there. But we have lost touch ever so slightly with Jorge Martin through this end of the lap. I do struggle a little bit through the end of the lap, and we've seen throughout this career mode, my pace at the start of the race always takes a little bit of time to build up. I'm always a bit slow at this. I thought I was going to go flying again. I'm always a bit slow right at the start of the race, and it takes me time to wind that pace up. So we're doing alright to be sitting here in second place, albeit we are falling a little bit back off Jorge Martin right now. We really gained up on Jorge Martin through the S's, but right at the end, that last little flick over the crest to the left before the kink down the straight. I'm not too sure on the corner numbers. If you follow Formula 1, it was where they were track extending really badly. Through there, I just lost a little bit of time. I couldn't quite follow him through the end of the... Oh my lord, that's what I mean. Look how slow he was going there down into turn number 12. It's insane. The AI just don't seem to be programmed quite right there at the end of the straight, and they go so slowly. If I was a tiny bit closer and a bit more alert, I probably could have sent one up his inside there. Oh, Aaron Canet is coming up our inside through this very long turn 18, and he makes that move stick, but we get a very nice exit, and we're going to go back up his inside into the penultimate corner and retake that second place. But that is not what we want right now. We don't want to be fighting Aaron Canet when we're trying to hunt down race leader Jorge Martin. As round the final corner we come to end lap number 2 of 8 here at the Circuit of the Americas, and the gap up to Martin is sitting just over 1 second at the moment. We've had a much nicer run through that first 2 sectors on this particular lap. A great run through the S's, and we were right, almost touching his rear wheel through there. And we managed to keep close through the end of that S's section, which I struggled on on the last lap. But now in his slipstream down the back straight, we are not close enough to send a move up the inside, you would think. But we jump on the brakes. We're just going to look to the inside. He's so slow and just gifts us that position, and we are now in the lead of this Grand Prix of the Americas. End of lap number 4 here at the Circuit of the Americas, and we're halfway through this 8-lap race, and we are still sitting in the lead. I didn't see the gap back to Jorge Martin, but I'm imagining it's about 1.5 seconds right now, and we are just in cruise control mode. We've extended the lead ever so slightly on this last lap, and hopefully we can keep doing that and convert this into our first race win here in the Moto3 class. Only one more corner for us to navigate onto the brakes, back down through the gearbox. Through the final corner we come, and can we pop a wheelie? No, it doesn't want to, but nonetheless across the line to win the Grand Prix of the Americas and our first ever Moto3 race win. I'd say that's also our first World Championship race victories. I don't think the Red Bull Rookies Cup counts in all of that, and we have won today's race by 5 seconds over Jorge Martin, and we did get the fastest lap as well. I was pushing so hard on the last few laps to try and get it, trying to do qualifying laps, and I did a 16.5. I'm like, that's faster than Jorge Martin's 16.9 that I saw him do at the start of the race, but I wasn't sure if I already had fastest lap or not, because I did want to complete the full, clean, sweep, pole, race win, and the fastest lap, and we have done exactly that here in the 3rd round of the season. After Qatar, that opening round, who would have thought 2 races later we would be doing a clean sweep here at the Circuit of the Americas with pole, race win, and the fastest lap of the race. Absolute madness. But joining us on the podium is Jorge Martin and Aaron Canet. Then you got Lorenzo Della Porta and Niccolo Antonelli rounding out the top 5. Bastianini, DJ Antonio, Bezzecchi, Rodrigo, and Sasaki round out the top 10. And where is our teammate? Tony Arbolino finished down in 24th place. I think that's about the same place that he qualified in. So we've got pole, race win, fastest lap. Tony Arbolino's qualified 24th and finished 24th. So that should really, really help our position in the team. And we were over 3 seconds of a lap quicker. 3 seconds around. And we were, I can't speak. We were 3 seconds a lap quicker, or over 3 seconds of a lap quicker than Tony Arbolino with our fastest lap of today's race, and we finished 25 seconds up the road. Absolute madness there in terms of the teammate battle. In the championship, we have jumped another 5 places up into the top 4 now. Level on points with Lorenzo Della Porta there, over 4th place, but I think we are getting 4th simply because we just won that race, and Lorenzo Della Porta doesn't have a race victory to his name. But Aaron Canet continues to lead the championship, and he's actually level on points with Jorge Martin. 61 points apiece for the 2 Spaniards, so a very, very close championship fight right now. Then you got Enea Bastianini, 18 points off the lead too. Then myself and Lorenzo Della Porta there, 26 points off the lead too, so I'm over a full race win behind, even though we're only 3 races into the season. I already have a race win on the board. That just shows how much Qatar has hurt us, and I think that could be a trend over every season of this career mode, starting things on the wrong foot. So how much reputation do we get for a clean sweep? 1,834, so a very, very nice haul of reputation in today's race. If we did the same thing in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, we were looking at about 500, so it's just under 4 times that, so that is very, very nice. And we get 9,000 development points as well. In terms of our attributes, they have all leveled up to level 49 now. We have achieved the race objective of 13th, that is pretty obvious, and our team trust is yet again gone up a little bit, so we're starting to move away from dismal and starting to head towards first rider. But we're definitely down on the dismal end still at the moment, so still got a lot of work ahead of us to get that first rider status.
This rider has been able to impose a frantic pace on today's race, and now he and his mechanics are rightly going to party.
We really did impose a frantic pace on today's race. A second clear in qualifying, and I think it was 6/10 clear on the fastest lap alone, and 5 seconds clear in an 8-lap race in today's Moto3 race. Absolute madness there. We really did dominate this weekend here at the Circuit of the Americas. So looking at the social feeds, we will hopefully have been mentioned again, and yes, we have, in the Moto3 race results there, in first place in the Americas Grand Prix. And looking over to our follow account, or our reputation penetration up to 5,650, so a very, very nice boost after taking a clean sweep here in Austin. So, before we end today's video, we have 18,000 development points at our disposal, and I was going to do this at the end of the previous episode, but I didn't remember to do it, so I'm going to try to do my upgrades after the race, after each race. So we have 18,000 at our disposal, so we're just going to keep going down the list, keep this sort of very neutral sort of strategy to upgrading the bike, and have a look at the frame and see what we can do. We can upgrade the lean by 1 level, let's do that, and the stiffness by 1 level, so let's do both of those, and we still have 10,000 points at our disposal. What about aerodynamics? We can upgrade both of these, penetration and downforce, so they are both up to level number 1, and that is the only amount we can actually upgrade either of those. So our aerodynamics are absolutely maxed out already, and we've got one upgrade on every single aspect of the bike already, so I guess next time we'll look to upgrade traction and power. And I wonder how much the level 2 upgrades cost. 4,600, so it's gone from 3,900 to 4,688, so it's almost an 800 increase there in how much the upgrades cost. So we're going to have to work a little bit harder to get them, and they're not going to come quite as easily. So that is going to do it for today, guys. Next time out, we head to Jerez. The first time we will be revisiting a track in this series, and hopefully having some racing experience around Jerez will help us now here in Moto3. Of course, the first 3 rounds of this Moto3 season don't feature in the Red Bull Rookies Cup, so we'll be going into those races absolutely blind. So hopefully with some track experience on one of these bikes, or close to a similar bike with the Red Bull Rookies Cup, not exactly a Moto3 bike, but it's quite similar to the KTM. That said, we're actually on the Honda, so again, it's slightly different, but still that sort of lightweight category bike. We've been on something very, very similar around the Jerez circuit, and hopefully that will help us as we head into the next round of the championship, and that'll hopefully be up tomorrow. But that's going to do it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy this absolute domination of a race weekend here at the Circuit of the Americas, make sure you do smash that like button. Of course, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe for much, much more MotoGP 18 content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.